the DOJ investigation into Trump and the classified documents non-scandal, ABC News reported this week, quote, prosecutors in special counsel Jack Smith's office have presented compelling preliminary evidence that former President Donald Trump knowingly and deliberately misled his own attorneys about his retention of classified materials after leaving office, end quote. The report explained that outgoing D.C. federal judge Beryl Howell ruled in a sealed filing that Smith's prosecutors could bypass Trump's attorney-client privilege to seek testimony from Trump attorney Evan Corcoran. Trump's campaign responded emphatically to the report, saying, "Shame on fake news ABC for broadcasting illegally leaked false allegations from a never-Trump, now former chief judge against the Trump legal team." The statement concluded with saying, "The real story here that fake news ABC should be reporting on is that prosecutors only attack lawyers when they have no case whatsoever." Joining us now to discuss is the Article 3 Project co-founder and president, Mike Davis. Mike, thank you for joining us. What is so unusual about the special counsel's investigation and case so far?
Well, they're investigating non-crimes. Jack Smith is Merrick Garland's hand-selected special prosecutor, and they're looking at non-crimes with President Trump having his presidential records in the office of former president in Mar-a-Lago, and that is specifically allowed by the Presidential Records Act. It doesn't matter whether these records are classified or not. Offices of former president have Secret Service protection. The staff get security clearances. They have secure compartmented information facilities or SCIFs. These documents were very secure until the Biden Justice Department did an unprecedented, unnecessary, and unconstitutional home raid on a former president, going to a biased magistrate judge, Bruce Reinhart, to get these records. These records did not start leaking until the Biden Justice Department got their hands on them. And what they're looking to do here is they set up an obstruction trap. It was in chaos, the chaos of the raid. They had an attorney sign an affidavit quickly, and they're trying to use that affidavit to prove obstruction. Well, the problem is if you look at an Office of Legal Counsel opinion, OLC legal opinion from the Justice Department during the Mueller probe, it is nearly legally impossible to charge someone with obstruction of justice for investigations of non-crimes. And that's exactly what's going on here. They're looking at the non-crime of President Trump lawfully having classified or non-classified presidential records in Mar-a-Lago. That is not a crime. That is allowed by the Presidential Records Act. And so that's what this comes down to. They've gone to these, I would say, judges that at least have the appearance of bias with their actions. This outgoing chief judge in D.C., Beryl Howell, was a former Senate Judiciary Committee staffer to a Democrat chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee. She's a former Democrat staffer. And then she had this just highly unusual, maybe unprecedented ruling where she waived attorney-client privilege and actually handed over these attorney notes to Jack Smith on her last day as the chief judge, and did not give President Trump or his attorney the opportunity to appeal to the D.C. Circuit. That is just outrageous that she did that. And then the three liberal judges on the D.C. Circuit came in to try to whitewash what she did, apparently, and they had this highly unprecedented, maybe just extraordinary appellate process where they had to file briefs at midnight and 6 a.m., and then they ruled the same day. This stinks, what they've done here.
What avenues of recourse does President Trump and his team have at this point, given those notes being handed over to Jack Smith? Where do they go from here?
Well, the problem is that the case is now, it's tainted. It's reversibly tainted because outgoing Chief Judge Beryl Howell did not give Trump the opportunity to appeal, and the D.C. Circuit really didn't give Trump the opportunity to appeal. They're just trying to whitewash what Judge Howell did here. So this is a tainted case, right? They're looking at non-crimes. They're doing these extraordinary measures to go get attorney notes, and then they're using this extraordinary, maybe unprecedented judicial procedure to fast track this. What was the rush? What was the rush? Why did the D.C. Circuit have to rush as quickly as it did? And it raises timing issues. Why are they rushing to whitewash this and rule in favor of the Biden Justice Department, Merrick Garland's handpicked special counsel, Jack Smith? Why are they rushing to do this when they see the headlines that a New York prosecutor is looking to go after Trump on trumped up bogus charges in New York? This, I can't say that it's coordinated, but it certainly looks coordinated.
Well, seasoned attorneys like yourself can look at the process when it is expedited like this. That does raise red flags. You have to then ask, what is the motive here? Is there some overarching plan or coordination that is taking place behind the scenes? Surely these characters, judges, Jack Smith, they all know each other.
Yeah, I would say this to these judges. I clerked for an appellate court. I clerked for Justice Gorsuch on the Supreme Court. I clerked for him on both courts. They have to be careful what they do. There's the appearance of bias that they have to be careful of. And they are certainly violating an appearance of bias with this highly unusual judicial procedure that they're using in both the D.C. District Court and the D.C. Court of Appeals. It at least raises an appearance of impropriety, and that's not a good look for these 4 Democrat-appointed judges.
What is the timeline for this case here in D.C., for this classified documents case?
Well, maybe, it looks to me like the Democrats realized that their Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg, is a dud up there with his case, and that's backfiring on them, so they want to put that one on the back burner, and now Jack Smith's case is the next one. Maybe they're going to do the Fannie Willis case out in Fulton County, Georgia. All 3 of these cases, the Manhattan DA case, the special counsel case, the Fulton County, Georgia case, these are all Democrat-led, Democrat cases against President Trump. They're investigating non-crimes. These are bogus, trumped-up charges, and it appears to me, a pattern to try to take out Trump. I think they fear that they can't beat him in the 2024 election, so they simply want to indict him. And what's going to happen with this, when they do indict him, it's going to backfire badly on them, as they're seeing up in Fulton County. Remember, after the Mar-a-Lago raid, Trump's poll numbers went up by 11 points. Remember the Manhattan DA. This case was rejected by the Manhattan DA's office before, and Alvin Bragg, when he was in the New York State Attorney General's office, urged them to reject this. It was rejected by the Manhattan U.S. Attorney. It was rejected by the Federal Election Commission. And now Alvin Bragg, now that he took his $1 million from George Soros and used this to campaign for office, now he wants to go after Trump after he pushed to reject it the prior times. This is clearly a political hit job, and it's part of a pattern with the special counsel and with Fulton County. Let me ask you this. If they're going after Trump for having classified records at Mar-a-Lago, which he's allowed to do under the Presidential Records Act, why did the Biden Justice Department have a much different posture with former Vice President Joe Biden, who illegally had records, classified records, stolen classified records from President Obama's White House and several different locations? And there's evidence that Hunter Biden used classified material to secure funding from his Ukrainian and Chinese oligarchs. So the Biden Justice Department, Attorney General Merrick Garland, didn't set up an obstruction of justice trap. They didn't send in an FBI home raid to go get Biden. And actually, Biden's attorney, they kept it quiet for 2 months, and Biden's attorneys actually misrepresented to the Biden Justice Department, to the FBI, that they turned over all the records because they found more batches of records after the attorneys made those false representations.
Illuminating conversation. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing where all this goes and hopefully having you back to explain what else comes out of this D.C. court here over that classified documents case. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have. Remember to watch Weekly Briefing every Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, or you can catch the latest episode now on iHeartRadio. Remember to download OAN Live and watch One American News on your favorite streaming device. I'm Chanel Rion. Thank you for watching. Until next time.